Hey guys, Dr. Deuce here, MTFU, how are you? So I'm starting up with videos again. I feel I'm probably in good enough shape to demonstrate, and you'll actually see the muscles working and what I'm working, we'll see. Today I'm in one of my favorite places, a really old school gym, very basic place. It's probably one step above training at home. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. A lot of the populations that I work with, look, face it, most people are not even in shape. Most people don't work out, and a large percentage of those people have never worked out. So it's very intimidating to start up. It's scary, it's confusing, and I try to eliminate some of that. So we came up here today because there's Nautilus. I've been coming here since I was maybe 15 or 16 years old. The facility I'm going to show you around, we have original Arthur Jones Nautilus equipment that was donated to this facility many years ago by a couple of pro wrestlers from the WWF, which is now WWE, World Wrestling Federation / Entertainment, which is a cool thing. And we also have an original Howard Zinkin universal machine in the other room. We're going to take a look at that. And some dumbbells, old school dumbbells, some of which were actually used in the movie Pumping Iron. And not that that stuff matters, but the whole idea is, for instance, some of the magazines that I still read are 40 years old. And some people might think that's crazy. They might think it's crazy that I actually have a book in my hand and it's not on a computer. I mean, I write books now, so I hope people keep reading them. But the whole idea is, evolutionarily speaking, the human body doesn't change that much over 30 or 40 years. For adaptation to change to different stimuli, that takes 1,000 years. So as far as all the people now thinking of all these crazy new ways to work out, that might be okay to keep people interested. Does the body really need all this crazy new stuff? I don't think so. I find a lot of old school stuff in here that I've been implementing and offering to my body. And again, I'm getting in really good shape. I do so every year. My birthday's coming up. I'll be 56 in I don't know, 5 weeks, I think, something like that. Speaking of getting older, always talking about the legs, when I was 22, I was training really hard. Trained hard all the years up until now, 55, except for the times I got injured and I had some surgeries along the way. My legs were much better when I was younger compared to now. And everything else being equal, nutrition is good, training is hard. Why does that happen? There's something called sarcopenia that occurs in men and women. It's an inexplicable attrition or loss of muscle from the body. In men, it particularly hits the legs, especially when they get older. And I get some guys sometimes, and listen, they just got in shape and they're a little high on themselves, and that's all good and fine, and maybe they're my age or a little younger, a little older. They'll say, Deuce, my legs are jacked. I'm like, well, you were never in shape when you were 22. You were never in shape when you were 35. You were never in shape when you were 43. So there's really no way to compare. You will not beat time. Eris, my cameraman and good friend, and I were just talking about Mark Spitz, the gold medal winning swimmer. Some years ago he tried to make a comeback, and I think he was 40 or so, and he was still a really fast swimmer. He was still doing all the things he used to do, but he was just about a second off, 1 full second, or might have been a little more, a little less. That may not sound like a lot, but that might as well, in that type of endeavor, that might as well be an hour. Everything else being equal and the same, the body changes. You got to do your best. I like to say you can be better, but in a different way. The funny thing is Frank Zane winning his last Mr. Olympia, so I still have this stuff around. I can't get away from it. So we're going to look at some stuff that we have in here. We have original Nautilus equipment. The thing with Arthur Jones, he produced circuit training. He was responsible for high intensity interval training, which I do ascribe to, especially as a mode to increase the body's natural production of testosterone. I've got videos on that. We'll talk more about that. His whole idea was, Eris, if we catch this right here, if you can come over here and just get a shot of this. This is called a cam right here. It's got a chain. It doesn't have a cable. If you look at, come on over here for a second. Let me get ahead of you. You're looking at this cable right here. It's a pulley and a cable. It's round. The resistance is consistent through the entire movement, okay? And you can just pan down and take a look at the whole machine. And that's good and fine. The whole premise behind Nautilus and the Nautilus shell-shaped cam, this makes the movement, at the beginning of the movement, it's the lightest. At the midpoint of the movement, it's the hardest. And at the end of the movement, it's, once again, at its lightest. And that, the premise behind that, according to Arthur, was the human body's congruency and acceptance of the stimulation, and the best results occur because of that. Really, really good equipment. I'll demonstrate one of the machines in the other room. So we've got a full line of Nautilus here, each piece for each body part. We've got these old school dumbbells that we'll be using. And again, like I said, some of these were used in the film Pumping Iron. That's how old they are, and that's how fantastic and good they are. And they ended up here somehow. This is a Lou Ferrigno, his old Lou Ferrigno equipment company, pec deck. And you can see it's plate loaded, it's not selectorized. And again, it's a little more crude or rustic than all the new stuff, but again, the muscles don't care if they're receiving resistance from a bag of sand, a bag of cement, a bucket of gold, or weights. It's really knowing your goal, understanding how the muscle works, and focusing. You'll get results no matter what you do or where you are. Again, we've got a preacher bench, we've got a Smith machine, a power rack, more Nautilus over here, a leg press, all the basic stuff. We're going to go in the other room and take a look at some of the universal Arist, and we'll look at the other Nautilus we have in there. A little bit of cardio machines. The good thing about circuit training, which is what I do now, it's all I do because I'm older, and I've talked about this, why we do this and why I prescribe this for people. Because I used to have a step mill in my house. That's how much, I used to do so much cardio. I used to do 7 hours of cardio at a stretch, and maybe I was a little insane at the time. It was crazy. I would average 3 hours every night. It was crazy. I don't know what I was thinking. This is many years ago, but even still, when I was doing an acceptable amount, I had the step mill in my house, and I probably lost a lot of cartilage from my knees. So now I still need that cardiovascular effect when I work out. You need that, so we keep the intensity high by doing circuit training, 30-second rest in between stations, and the Nautilus is very good for that, but so are the machines in the gym, and so are basic dumbbells, barbells, and whatever you might have. So let's take a walk into this room over here. So again, we've got the universal station right here. This was made in 1957. This is an original unit right here by Howard Zinkin. And back in the 40s and 50s, there was a lack of iron. It was hard to get plates. I was reading Bill Pearl when he ordered his weight set when he was a kid. It took him 2 years to receive it because it was, I think one of the wars was going on, and they didn't have enough steel to produce the stuff. So did what he could, and then he finally received his weight set 2 years later. But a lot of people would use this. I remember having this unit in junior high and in high school. I was in junior high in the 70s, high school up to 82. Again, it's stations, very basic. You can still use this, you can still get good results, and this is all you have access to. And we have a couple of more Nautilus machines here. We've got the abduction-adduction machine, and right here I'm going to actually demonstrate and try this. This machine I like a lot, and you can either do presses or you can do, it's a pec deck. And again, remember the whole premise behind this, it's very light at the beginning, it gets harder, and I can feel that, the midpoint, and then it's light at the top. That's your Nautilus, and that's because of the cam. So it's light here, it gets heavier, you can feel that, then it gets light again. And the strongest point is right there at the middle, and I'm really trying to sense that. And that's your Nautilus right there. But again, the whole idea behind Nautilus, you do one body part per machine, and you go through the circuit. And Arthur Jones, again, he was an odd character. His whole thing was you can get a good workout, one set per body part going to failure. I don't subscribe to the failure theory. I don't like the word. Why would you want to fail at anything? And when you tell somebody to do that, go to failure, the coefficient of injury rises. And remember, older people that we work with, 40 and up, men and women, the number one thing you want to do is you want to avoid injury. Because if you're just starting out and you injure yourself, chances are you're never going to come back. You're going to stay the way you are. And then that's how it's all going to end up, and we just can't have that. So we're going to be filming here. I'm going to be putting modules together. We're going to have a whole new site for that. I think you're really going to love it. Thoughts, questions, and considerations written down below. I do thank you if you do. They are my oxygen. Please help me breathe, and thank you.